One company that I've always had good faith in is Peloton. I've owned 3 bikes, a tread, and more recently, you might not be able to see, but this little fella here, the Peloton Guide. But when things are going well, they're brilliant, but how good are they when you decide to return something to them inside of their 30 or more recently 100-day money-back guarantee period? Is it an easy process? Will they try and talk me into keeping it? And most importantly, how long does it take for them to actually refund you the money once you've sent your item back to them? Let's find out. Why am I returning it? Well, I've made quite a few videos now with the Peloton Guide, and I'll link to that playlist at the end of this video. But in all honesty, I just don't find myself using it. And even before I ordered it, I knew that I was going to keep the box, just in case. And it comes down to the fact that I love the Peloton bikes, I love the Peloton tread, and I really like the Peloton app. And if you've not used the Peloton app, I mean, I can't stress how good it is. The user interface, it's very slick on Apple TV or Amazon Prime. I just like that so much, and it's actually so good that I have to remind myself to actually change the inputs on the television here and then switch the Peloton Guide on and use that instead. And yes, the Peloton Guide has this side-by-side tracking feature, which is good, but when I'm working out, I'm very happy to just check my form, if I need to, in the mirror here. Although this device here, the Reflect 1.0 we'll call it, does seem to show wrinkles and grey hairs more. Hopefully a software update will fix that. Unlike many products these days, the packaging is actually really easy to work with. It's not just designed for cheap transit, it's designed very much with the end user in mind. And it's another thing that Peloton do very well. And as an end user, I really appreciated it. Although no time has passed for you, it's about 3 or 4 weeks later for me, and I'll explain why later. But within 2 days of me requesting a return label from Peloton, they did ask me, there was a slight bit of back and forth, perhaps one email more than I would like, but they sent me a returns label, a UPS prepaid returns label. My nearest UPS drop-off point though is about a 10-mile round trip. But I found out for $3, UPS will come to your house and collect the parcel for you. One thing that really impressed me with Peloton when I ordered the guide was the delivery time. 18 hours after I pressed the buy button, I had the guide in my hand. That was really impressive. But what impressed me even more was when I sent the guide back. I sent it day 1, it arrived with Peloton day 2. The morning of day 2, they emailed me to say they had my guide and they'd issued the refund already. That is really impressive. This does lead me on to a slight issue where I didn't actually have the refund. They said it would be 7 to 10 days, which I thought was a long time because they took my money quicker than that. But after 7 to 10 days, no refund. Now, over the course of this 3 or 4 weeks where I've not been here, several emails were exchanged between Peloton and I, with me trying to chase this refund, them initially saying, well, 7 to 10 days, but it might be a couple of days later, to me starting to just get a little bit frustrated with the whole experience. But this was my fault, and I'll explain why. And you can tell me what you think. I'm taking 100% blame for this. Initially, I think I was taking about 90% blame. So in my early 20s, I got a credit card. And this credit card was strictly for emergencies only. However, 6 months later and £6,500 in debt to this credit card and seemingly without one single emergency, I decided I was done with credit cards forever. Recently, somebody I know very well had flown from London to New York using air miles on an American Express card. Stay with me here. So I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe I'll give it another go. So I got an Amex card to collect the air miles. We'd had enough miles for my wife and I to go to Rome, but I just didn't like having a credit card. I don't like it, so I cancelled it. And that's where the refund had gone. So Peloton had refunded my money the next day, in fact, but it had gone to a closed credit card. It wasn't until about the 8th or 9th email that somebody at Peloton said to me, where do you think this money's going? Just so we can have a little bit of a back and forth to see if it's the place that you think, we've sent it to the place you think it's going. It was then I realised. So part of me thought, I wish they'd have asked me that question earlier, but really, I'm going to say it's 100% my fault. So in conclusion, the whole experience was typically Peloton. Premium, but very, very good. I returned the guide day 1, they received it day 2, they issued the refund, and it was back with my card the very same day. And I fully appreciate that videos are perhaps a little bit more interesting when things go wrong, but I think it's also important to report on things when they go very, very well. I ordered the guide, Peloton offered me a 100-day money-back guarantee. At about 72 days in, I decided it wasn't for me. I sent the guide back, they refunded my money. That's how it should be. And what's really important is when you buy something like a Peloton, it's almost like you're in like a partnership, isn't it? So I've agreed to give them a few £1,000s for equipment and then pay them £500 a year to be part of their subscription service. And I want to feel like if we're on a seesaw, we're looking eye to eye, because I want to feel like a customer, not a hostage. And when you get good service like this, like what Peloton have given me, it means that I will 100% be buying a rower. It means I will 100% be telling people about how good Peloton is, even if they don't quite get it or they think I'm ridiculous for spending loads of money on a bike. I mean, I'm a very happy customer. So if you're worried about their money back guarantee, in my experience, faultless. Until next time, see you soon.